Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Grahame-Smith opens with zombies slaughtering all 18 inhabitants of Netherfield Park. Mrs. Bennet is overjoyed to hear the estate will be rented to a wealthy bachelor, Mr. Bingley, and she hopes he will marry one of her daughters. Mr. Bennet, however, focuses on ensuring his daughter's zombie fighting training is up to par. Bingley invites the Bennet family to a ball where they meet his friend Mr. Darcy, a celebrated zombie slayer whom they find insufferable, especially Elizabeth, who overhears him declare she is not handsome enough for him. A zombie attack is foiled when the Bennet girls defeat the ghouls. Darcy, it emerges, was once happier before betrayal darkened his life. The Bennets later visit Sir William Lucas and his daughter, Charlotte, Elizabeth's friend. They discuss Darcy, agreeing he is proud. Elizabeth adds that he seems vain. Next, the family visits Netherfield, where Bingley's fondness for Jane becomes clear. Mr. Bennet frets over his estate, which yields only £2,000 a year, and his lack of a male heir. The daughters frequently trek to Meryton, battling zombies along the way, and learn that the militia is returning. Jane is invited to dine at Netherfield. Mrs. Bennet insists she ride there on horseback rather than take the carriage, so that if it rains she will be forced to spend the night. A note later arrives. Jane has barely survived a zombie attack and will stay at Netherfield to recover. Elizabeth visits her. Bingley promises a ball once Jane is well. Elizabeth remarks to Darcy that he seems to despise everyone. He retorts that she misunderstands everyone. After Jane and Elizabeth return home, Mr. Bennet announces that his cousin, Mr. Collins, heir to Longbourn, will visit. Collins is a clergyman for Lady Catherine at Rosings Park. The Bennet girls, with Collins, walk to Meryton and encounter officers Denny and Wickham. Darcy and Bingley pass by but leave at the sight of Wickham, puzzling Jane and Elizabeth. Collins boasts of Lady Catherine's ninjas protecting her and her daughter from zombies. Wickham tells Elizabeth he grew up with Darcy, who denied him the clerical living he was promised, forcing him into military service. He claims Darcy and his sister are cruel. Elizabeth relays this to Jane. At the Netherfield ball, Elizabeth learns Wickham was not invited. Darcy asked her to dance and she questions him about Wickham. Zombies attack, and this time Darcy vanquishes them. Collins proposes to Elizabeth, but she declines. Jane receives a letter from Bingley. He has gone to London and Netherfield is deserted with no expected return. Charlotte becomes engaged to Collins after contracting a plague that will turn her into a zombie. Bingley sends a farewell letter. Jane suspects he intends to marry Darcy's sister. Elizabeth visits Charlotte with Sir William and Maria Lucas. En route, they are attacked by zombies, but Elizabeth saves them. Charlotte is nearly zombified, unnoticed by anyone but Elizabeth. Lady Catherine invites them to tea, boasting of a serum she is developing to slow or reverse the plague, and mocks Elizabeth's skills. Elizabeth later defeats 3 of Lady Catherine's ninjas. Darcy and his cousin, Colonel Fitzwilliam, visit Lady Catherine. Both compliment Elizabeth's abilities. Darcy often calls on Elizabeth, and she meets Fitzwilliam, who praises Georgiana, Darcy's sister, and mentions Bingley owes Darcy for preventing a foolish marriage. Elizabeth, angered that Darcy doubts Jane's worth, confronts him. They quarrel and he regrets allowing her into his life. The next day, Darcy sends a letter explaining that he advised Bingley against marrying Jane due to fears of infection and disapproval of the Bennet family's manners. He reveals that Wickham betrayed his family and attempted to elope with Georgiana for her inheritance. Darcy departs Rosings Park. Elizabeth returns home and shares this with Jane. Lydia is invited to Brighton as the militia relocates. Elizabeth visits Pemberley with her aunt and uncle. Zombies attack, and Darcy fights them off. Georgiana wishes to meet Elizabeth and they visit. Bingley and his sister are present, showing Bingley's continued affection for Jane. Georgiana instantly likes Elizabeth, whom Darcy calls beautiful. Elizabeth learns Lydia has eloped with Wickham and rushes to Longbourn. Mr. Bennet pursues Lydia. Mrs. Bennet fears he will die confronting Wickham. A letter arrives. Wickham and Lydia will marry, his debts are paid, and he is permanently crippled. Lydia reveals Darcy was present at the wedding. Elizabeth learns he also paid Wickham's debts, provided the couple with £1,000 annually, and ensured Wickham's crippling. After their departure, Bingley and Darcy visit. Bingley and Jane become engaged. Lady Catherine confronts Elizabeth about a potential marriage to Darcy, promised to her daughter since birth. Elizabeth refuses to pledge not to marry him. Lady Catherine challenges her to a duel, which Elizabeth wins. Later, Elizabeth informs Darcy she has changed her opinion of him. They are attacked by zombies, fight side by side and become engaged. Jane marries Bingley, Elizabeth marries Darcy, and even Lady Catherine comes around. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.